Hey guys, good morning. So it's Friday, September 7th, and a lot to share with you guys. First thing is, I'm sitting in a public park here in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, that I believe is called Martha's Place, and I'm sure somebody dedicated this little park. There's about 6 benches, a gazebo, 5 little tables that I'm sitting at here. And I'm sure there's a story behind that I'd like to try to get to know about a little bit today. And I'm going to be staying in town. Now, before I go through my plans for today, tomorrow, upcoming days, first of all, I had fun yesterday. I got to meet a lot of folks. Really made me feel welcome here. And I left a video last night where I just started appreciating all the folks along the way that have made this journey possible. If I left somebody out, guys, I truly apologize. I was just going off the top of my head. I think I left out one of the more glaring ones was the Baxter Springs folks and Jim Adams in Riverton and Burt and Brian out in Baxter Springs. But I'm sure there are others I left out as well, and for that I truly apologize. Didn't mean anything by it. And again, when I write the book, I'll make sure I get everybody in there. Before I get really deep into today, a few things I want to talk about. So, rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. I know my son and I watch Smokey and the Bandit quite frequently, and some of the other movies he was in is pretty iconic member. And anytime people pass, just makes you know about your own mortality. So, thank you for his presence in the world and all that good stuff, and the movies and joy it brought to a lot of people, especially the ladies, I think. Um, there was another message I wanted to share. Before I do, I think I got sidetracked. Maybe it'll come back to me. But there was one thing. Like I said, I'm sitting down here in the square. Before I tell you about last night and plans for today, um, I'm just sitting here charging my phone. Read an article online that just absolutely is what Point the Thumb Journey is all about. I hope you guys. I'm going to post. I'm going to try to share it to Facebook here shortly. It was on Yahoo News. It's the only news source I have. um, Apparently, there was a little boy up at him and his football team were up at a Seattle Seahawks preseason game, and he noticed another little boy crying, and I may get some of the details wrong, so you'll see in the article. But he noticed another little boy crying, and I guess he was waiting for his dad, but his seats were too high or something like that. He was afraid of heights. So this other little fella said, "Well, come sit by us and hang out with us till your dad gets here." And I just welcomed him and talked about the game with him and told him a little bit about the game because the little fella didn't even know, who Russell Wilson is. So I pointed it out to him. And again, here's kids, race, religion, sexual orientation, none of that matters. It's just somebody reaching out to somebody. What I thought was really the part that kind of got me by the heart wasn't just the little boys, which did obviously grab me by the heart, but I guess the mother was saying, yeah, that doesn't surprise me a bit, and she was saying how when he was even a little bit younger, he said, "Mom, what do you talk to strangers for?" And it's because it makes you feel good to put a smile on somebody's face, and that's essentially, what I've been talking about here. That's not what point the thumb means per se, but again, I've been trying to observe and wonder why we're so indifferent to each other. Why do we just, why are we all heroes to that little group of 10, and yet we don't seem to want to, at least in the busier parts of the world, like Tulsa where I was, like back home where I am, why do we seem to be so indifferent to the to other folks, whether it just be somebody in traffic, in line, at work, wherever. We stand in an elevator with, a lot of people work in these office complexes. They stand in an elevator with 6 people in an elevator every day. Not the same 6 every day, but we all sit there and stare straight ahead. They're not looking at anybody. They're not saying anything more than a good morning. Sometimes you get one back, sometimes you don't. And this woman clearly doesn't. And now her son, it just goes to show how it's a learned pattern. Her son reached out to a complete stranger simply because he watched his mom engage strangers. So kudos to that little fellow and his mom. And I think that's a great story that I want to share with you guys. So I made my way into Sapulpa yesterday. In fact, I'm sitting probably where I met my first folks, right across from the Chamber of Commerce and Johnny, the newspaper reporter, and it was a really special night for me because, like I said, for me, you folks, the people I haven't met yet, are the ones that kind of get me all all pumped up and fired up, and um, really give me the motivation to keep carrying on and go that extra mile here and there when I can. And coming off of a couple of nights in Tulsa, I mean, yeah, I had a really neat time. It was a neat story to go to the Hard Rock and go to the Mark Chesney concert. And I hope you guys played that song yesterday. A few of you just wrote to me and said, it had some impact on you for sure. And yes, I had a couple really meaningful contacts, but throughout the day, for extended periods, it was a little less. And then I think Annalise said something that one of our followers from Cuba that made a lot of sense. In the smaller towns is where people really reach out to you. It's more of a community, whereas the cities, and it's just by the sheer nature of the size and the hustle and bustle, it's not necessarily a community there. There may be communities within the city, but the city as a whole really is a community, and that's something. And it's funny because I've never been a big city guy to go live, and I never thought about why. My brother, for example, he's culinary, and he loves the foodies and the little local small places and the museums and things like that. And there's a lot of city has to offer, but as far as living there, it just wouldn't be my thing. I like to go visit with the family, but maybe I never really thought about it. But maybe that's exactly why, like Annalise said, that there's not that community connection. I like to talk to people and engage in it, and I guess that gets lost. I didn't realize that. I'm sure I'm going to see some more of that as I head out towards, because from here I've got some small towns and just a few big cities left. I got Oklahoma City coming up probably in about a week. After that, the next big city, as far as I know, will be Amarillo, then Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and then off into California, and eventually through Los Angeles, I believe. So in this town last night, one of the things that struck me is I was at Tavern Pat's place and meeting some folks, and I did spend about 3 hours on the phone with longtime friends and family on a fantasy football draft. And when I got back inside, I guess some folks heard about me, knew what I was doing, and this one table, Stacy and Jory say, "Come on over here, let's find out what you're doing." And I was talking to my children and Juggins, and I said, I'd love to share with you. Can you just give me a few minutes so I can talk to the kids and let everybody know I'm okay and where I'm at? And there were two real observations about last night that struck me. Was it's a smaller town. I won't say it's a tiny town, but it's a smaller town. And most of the time in public places in a small town, whether it be the morning cafe, which I hope to be heading to here soon, whether it be the local water hole, whether it be the local church, everybody seems to know everybody in the small town, and it's just one big, hey Sam, hey Charlie, hey Mary kind of thing. And there were at least 3 or 4 different everybody knew everybody, but it wasn't one big table of 4 here, table of 4 here, table of 6 here, and so it was diverse in that regard, which is unlike. And again, they all know each other. I'm not saying they don't like each other. It was, it wasn't all one big conglomerate of people kind of having a good time and ragging on each other. It was quiet times and so forth. And then yet each and every one of those folks couldn't wait to hear about Point the Thumb and what it means. And when I told them embrace it, these folks just already got on the Facebook and were sharing it. These gentlemen here were sharing with me about trips out west in a town called Oakton, Arizona, which they said it's on the old Route 66. So you got to get to it. It's got some 1929 Model Ts and 1919 Model Ts that ran off the road during one of the storms that are still off over there. And then there was Brendan and Jory and Stacy. Well, right back block up that way in town is I took some pictures last night of the lion and the baboon. It's a bunch of guys that get together and have a motorcycle club. It's not wild hogs, and it's not patched groups or anything like that. But they're essentially a clubhouse. So Brendan took me over there. It was still pretty early. It was only like 9 o'clock, which is late for me these days when you're up so early, and I didn't get much sleep the night before. They got a big projection TV and a refrigerator and a shower, and um, we're able to sit there and watch the rest of the football game with Brennan and get to know him. And it's good because if they come into town and these guys do drink a little bit, they can go over there and crash. They all store their motorcycles there, um, so they can take their car up into town and not run through neighborhoods or whatever and store their motorcycles there. It's just their hangout, man. So it was really cool to kind of just crash there and shower up. Obviously, these guys, their motorcycles are very valuable and very personal to them. So Brendan had to get up and go to work. So that's why I left the building with him. So nobody, if anything happened, I couldn't be kind of held accountable or anything like that. So that's cool. And but here's the coolest thing, which I didn't really talk about. So I was supposed to go into my next town was going to be a town called Bristow. It's 20 miles by car. It's about 22. When you're walking, sometimes the walk is a little bit longer than the highway because like 66 crosses back up and over. So it's about 22 miles. Well, I was in town last night. Stacy's dad, a gentleman named Bill, call him Wild Bill, is turning 72 years old today, and his ex-wife, I think, owns Pat's place, and I met his current wife, but everybody got along, was really neat, and I guess he's got a band coming up, and Gloria had given me her husband, an Indian, I believe a chief, I want to say, with the Indian tribe here, I want to say, and I'm going to get it wrong, I'll look into it, I can't short it down, Yuchi. But they said, hey, look, Jim, we got a party tomorrow night. We'd love to have you, hang around and share Wild Bill's birthday with us. And he was so, maybe because he was drinking, maybe because I had a couple beers in me, but he just really was connecting with me and digging the whole point the thumb thing, and just a sweetheart of a guy. So again, this journey isn't about scaling trees or mountains or walking and saying, look at me. It's about the people and the stories that they tell and how they reach out to a perfect stranger. And the whole town did that last night. And yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, it felt great, especially coming off of, a little bit less than that. I've had some really great moments, and I'm a high and low guy. I wish I didn't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I wish it wasn't so. I wish I could be more steady, but you can have 3 days of high and 1 day of low, just kind of take the life back out of me a little bit. And but like I said, I'm high as a kite right now. The folks were great. So I'm here in Sapulpa. I got a couple things to do today. There's a Route 66 museum a couple miles up the road. Not quite sure what's in store for me during the daytime. Like I said, obviously these people are at work, so Wild Bill's party won't be until this evening, and I don't have any plans where I'm going to stay from there. So anyway, I won't be doing Bristow today. I imagine I'm going to try to get to Bristow tomorrow, and just want to let you guys know. So I love you guys. I appreciate all the fellowship and the following and support and the sharing of your stories. There's still so many more I want to get to, like how did Martha's Place come to be here in this beautiful corner of the town. I don't know if you can see it this time of morning, but there are bricks down here, all with dedicated stones, dedicated bricks. So clearly the town and community came to rally behind this little place as well. So I'm going to be interested to talk with Sherry of the chamber, and find out about that. So have a great day, guys. I'll keep you updated. I'll try not to bombard you with videos. I would like to live stream some of the folks here in town tomorrow, later tonight, so you get to meet some of who they are, and at least get to meet them if we don't want to share any stories anyway. Grace, Kira, Landon, love you guys so very, very much. Have yourselves a great day. To those of you back home, keep on keeping on. I know it's been blistering hot back there. My mom and brother and everybody else in my family, extended family. I love you all. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.